Hello, welcome to Esoterica and Nonsense, a podcast where we discuss myths, legends, folktales, fairy tales, supernatural phenomenon, and religions from around the world. I am your host, Annabelle. How are you doing, little chicken? Hold on, I should move my table. Wait, we're moving the table. Okay, perfect. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Today is Saturday, and I feel pretty peaceful. I've been getting really into meditating, and I've been meditating every day, and it's been a few years since I've been meditating every day, and it's really been so magical. I've been seeing pretty crazy things. I've been going on journeys through time and space. Which reminds me that if you like meditating and are interested in meditating, I do guided meditations. I have 2 episodes of the podcast that are guided meditations, but I will also be putting guided meditations on my Patreon. So if you're interested, please consider joining my Patreon. And there is extra bonus content for people who pay a monthly donation, and I highly appreciate donations. They help me make more content and keep the podcast going. So anyway, now that business is done, I'm going to tell a couple little stories from Japan, little Japanese folk tales. They're gonna be super cute. I'm actually super excited. So without further ado, I'm gonna tell first a little story called the Parsley Queen. How cute is that? It's so cute. And this is just a short little diddly. It's a tiny boy. How curious that the daughter of a peasant dwelling in an obscure country village near Asuka in the province of Yamato should become a queen. Yet such was the case. Her father died while she was yet in her infancy, and the girl applied herself to the tending of her mother with all filial piety. One day, when she had gone out in the fields to gather some parsley, of which her mother was very fond, it chanced that the Prince Shotoku, the great Buddhist teacher, was making a progress to his palace, and all the inhabitants of the countryside flocked to the road along which the procession was passing, in order to behold the gorgeous spectacle and to show their respect for the Mikado's son. The filial girl, alone, paying no heed to what was going on around her, continued picking her parsley. She was observed from his carriage by the prince, who, astonished at the circumstance, set one of his retainers to inquire into this cause. The girl replied, "My mother bade me pick parsley, and I am following her instructions. That is the reason why I have not turned round to pay my respects to the prince." The latter, being informed of her answer, was filled with admiration at the strictness of her filial piety. Alighting at her mother's cottage on the way back, he told her of the occurrence, and placing the girl in the next carriage to his own, took her home with him to the imperial palace, and ended by making her his wife, upon which the people, knowing her story, gave her the name of the Parsley Queen. That's so funny. I feel like that story is deeply coded by parents who are like, see, if you always listen to your parents and always do what they say, then maybe a prince will marry you. I can smell I can smell the intentions from a mile away. Yeah, this story was written by someone's mom who was like, do what I say always and don't listen to anyone else. That's so cute. That was a little short one. Okay, this now, story number 2, is called Momotaro, or the story of the son of a peach. Isn't that so cute? I can't wait. The son of a peach, hello. Is that a story? Is that the story of my life? We're gonna find out. Long, long ago, there lived an old man and an old woman. They were peasants and had to work hard to earn their daily rice. The old man used to go and cut grass for the farmers around, and while he was gone, the old woman, his wife, did the work of the house and worked in their own little rice field. One day, the old man went to the hills as usual to cut grass, and the old woman took some clothes to the river to wash. It was nearly summer, and the country was very beautiful to see in its fresh greenness as the two old people went on their way to work. The grass on the banks of the river looked like emerald velvet, and the pussy willows along the edge of the water were shaking out of their soft tassels. Oh my God, that was the best sentence I have ever read in my life. I'm going to read it again. The grass on the banks of the river looked like emerald velvet, and the pussy willows along the edge of the water were shaking out of their soft tassels. That is so beautiful. The breezes blew and ruffled the smooth surface of the winter into wavelets, and passing on touched the cheeks of the old couple, who, for some reason they could not explain, felt very happy that morning. The old woman at last found a nice spot by the riverbank and put her basket down. Then she set to work to wash the clothes. She took them one by one out of the basket and washed them in the river and rubbed them on the stones. The water was as clear as crystal, and she could see the tiny fish swimming to and fro and the pebbles at the bottom. As she was busy washing her clothes, a great peach came bumping down the stream. The old woman looked up from her work and saw this large peach. She was 65 years of age, yet in all her life she had never seen such a big peach as this. How delicious that peach must be, she said to herself. I might certainly get it and take it home to my old man. Literally, this is my dream life. Living in fields of emerald velvet with pussy willows and crystal clear streams and giant peaches. Oh my God, take me there. Hello. The old woman stretched out her arm to try and get the peach, but it was quite out of her reach. She looked about for a stick, but there was not one to be seen. And if she went to look for one, she would lose the peach. You're going to have to get in the water, baby girl. Stopping a moment to think what she should do, she remembered an old charm verse. Now she began to clap her hands to keep time to the rolling of the peach downstream. While she clapped, she sang this song. Distant water is bitter, the near water is sweet. Pass by the distant water and come into the sweet. Distant water is bitter, the near water is sweet. Pass by the distant water and come into the sweet. Interesting. Strange to say, as soon as she began to repeat this little song, The peach began to come nearer and nearer the bank where the old woman was standing, till at last it stopped just in front of her, so that she was able to take it up in her hands. Oh, this is so exciting. The old woman was delighted. She could not go on with her work, so happy and excited was she. So she put on all the clothes back into her bamboo basket, and with the basket on her back and the peach in her hand, she hurried homewards. It seemed a very long time to her to wait till her husband returned. The old man at last came back as the sun was setting, with a big bundle of grass on his back, so big that he was almost hidden and she could hardly see him. He seemed very tired and used the scythe for a walking stick, leaning on it as he walked along. As soon as the old woman saw him, she called out, "Oh, Fisan," meaning old man, "I have been waiting for you to come home for such a long time today." "What is the matter? Why are you so impatient?" asked the old man, wondering at her unusual eagerness. "Has anything happened while I've been away?" "Oh, no," answered the old woman. "Nothing has happened. Only I have found a nice present for you." "That is good," said the old man. He then washed his feet in a basin of water and stepped up to the veranda. The old woman now ran into the little room and brought out from the cupboard the big peach. It felt even heavier than before. She held it up to him, saying, "Just look at this. Just look at it. Did you ever see such a large peach in all your life?" When the old man looked at the peach, he was greatly astonished and said, "This is indeed the largest peach I have ever seen. Wherever did you buy it?" "I did not buy it," answered the old woman. "I found it in the river where I was washing." And she told him the whole story. "I'm very glad that you have found it. Let us eat it now, for I am hungry," said the old man. He brought out the kitchen knife, and placing the peach on a board, was about to cut it when, wonderful to tell, the peach split in two of its own accord, and a clear voice said, "Wait, old man." And out of the peach stepped a beautiful little child. Oh my God, this is so cute. This is like James and the Giant Peach. This is so exciting. The old man and his wife were both so astonished at what they saw, they fell to the ground. The child spoke again. "Don't be afraid. I am no demon or fairy. I will tell you the truth. Heaven has had compassion on you. Every day and every night you have lamented that you had no child. Your cry has been heard, and I am sent to be the son of your old age." On hearing this, the old man and his wife were very happy. They had cried night and day for sorrow at having no child to help them in their lonely old age. And now that their prayer was answered, they were so lost with joy that they did not know where to put their hands or their feet. First, the old man took the child up in his arms. Then the old woman did the same, and they named him Momotaro, or son of a peach, because he had come out of a peach. They have a peach boy. I want a peach boy. The years passed quickly by, and the child grew to be 15 years of age. He was taller and far stronger than any other boys of his own age. He had a handsome face and a heart full of courage, and he was very wise for his years. The old couple's pleasure was very great when they looked at him, for he was just what they thought a hero ought to be. One day, Momotaro came to his foster father and said solemnly, "Father, by a strange chance, we have become father and son. Your goodness to me has been higher than the mountain grasses, which it was your daily work to cut, and deeper than the river where my mother washes the clothes. I do not know how to thank you enough." "Why," answered the old man, "it is a matter of course that a father should bring up his son. When you are older, it will be your turn to take care of us. So after all, there will be no profit or loss between us. All will be equal. Indeed, I am rather surprised that you should thank me in this way." And the old man looked bothered. "I hope you will be patient with me," said Momotaro. Before I begin to pay back your goodness to me, I have a request to make, which I hope you will grant me above everything else." "I will let you do whatever you wish, for you are quite different to all other boys." "Then let me go away at once." "What do you say? Do you wish to leave your old father and mother and go away from your old home?" "I will surely come back again if you let me go now." "Where are you going?" "You must think it strange that I want to go away," said Momotaro, "because I have not yet told you my reason. Far away from here to the northeast of Japan, there is an island in the sea. This island is a stronghold of a band of devils. I have often heard how they invade this land, kill and rob the people, and carry off all they can find. They are not only very wicked, they are disloyal to our emperor and disobey his laws." Not only are they wicked, but they disobey the emperor. God forbid. They're also cannibals. Oh my gosh, just tacking on the sins right now. For they kill and eat some of the poor people who are so unfortunate as to fall into their hands. These devils are very hateful beings. I must go and conquer them and bring back all the plunder of which they have robbed this land. It is for this reason that I want to go away for a short time." The old man was as much surprised at hearing all this from a mere boy of 15. He thought it best to let the boy go. He was strong and fearless, and besides all this, the old man knew he was no common child, for he had been sent to them as a gift from heaven, and he felt quite sure that the devils would be powerless to harm him. "All you say is very interesting, Momotaro," said the old man. "I will not hinder you in your determination. You may go if you wish. Go to the island as soon as ever you like and destroy the demons and bring peace to the land." "Thank you for all of your kindness," said Momotaro, who began to get ready to go that very day. He was full of courage and did not know what fear was. Of course he doesn't know what fear is. He's a peach boy. Everyone needs a peach boy. The old man and woman at once set to work to pound rice in the kitchen mortar to make cakes for Momotaro to take with him on his journey. That's so nice. He's going to get rice cakes as a snack. At last the cakes were made and Momotaro was ready to start on his long journey. Parting is always sad, so it was now. The eyes of the two old people were filled with tears and their voices trembled as they said, "Go with all care and speed. We expect you back victorious." Momotaro was very sorry to leave his old parents, though he knew he was coming back as soon as he could, for he thought of how lonely they would be while he was away. But he said goodbye quite bravely. "I am going now. Take good care of yourselves while I'm away. Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye, Father." And he stepped quickly out of the house. In silence, the eyes of Momotaro and his parents met in farewell. Momotaro now hurried on his way till it was midday. He began to feel very hungry, so he opened his bag and took out one of the rice cakes and sat down under a tree by the side of the road to eat it. While he was thus having his lunch, a dog almost as large as a colt came running out of the high grass. He made straight for Momotaro, and showing his teeth, said in a fierce way, "You are a rude man to pass my field without asking permission first. If you leave me all the cakes you have in your bag, you may go. Otherwise, I will bite you till I kill you." Momotaro only laughed scornfully. What is it that you are saying? Do you know who I am? I am Momotaro. I am on my way to subdue the devils in their island stronghold in the northeast of Japan. If you try to stop me on my way, I will cut you in two from the head downwards. The dog's manner at once changed. His tail dropped between his legs, and coming near, he bowed so low that his forehead touched the ground. What do I hear? The name of Momotaro? Are you indeed Momotaro? I have often heard of your great strength. Not knowing who you were, I have behaved in a very stupid way. Would you please pardon my rudeness? Are you indeed on your way to invade the island of the devils? If you will take such a rude fellow with you as one of your followers, I shall be very grateful to you. I love that everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're the Peach Boy? Sorry, I'm your #1 fan. Can I join your crew?" "I think I can take care of you with me if you wish to go," said Momotaro. "Thank you," said the dog. "By the way, I am very, very hungry. Will you give me one of the cakes you are carrying?" "This is the best kind of cake there is in Japan," said Momotaro. "I cannot spare you a whole one. I will give you half of one." "Thank you very much," said the dog, taking the piece thrown down to him. This is just so much fun. Momotaro is eating his little rice cakes with his friend who's a dog, and they're gonna go defeat these little demons on the Isle of Devils, and then they're gonna go back home to see Mom and Dad. This is so nice. Then Momotaro got up and the dog followed. For a long time they walked over the hills and through the valleys. As they were going along, an animal came down from a tree a little ahead of them. The creature soon came up to Momotaro and said, "Good morning, Momotaro. You are welcome in this part of the country. Will you allow me to go with you?" The dog answered jealously, "Momotaro already has a dog to accompany him. Of what use is a monkey like you in battle? We are on our way to fight the devils. Get away." The dog and the monkey began to quarrel and bite, for these two animals always hate each other. "Now, don't quarrel," said Momotaro, putting himself between them. "Wait a moment, dog. It is not at all dignified for you to have such a creature as that following you," said the dog. "What do you know about it?" asked Momotaro, and pushing the dog aside, he spoke to the monkey. "Who are you?" "I am a monkey living in these hills," replied the monkey. "I heard of your expedition to the Island of Devils, and I have come to go with you. Nothing will please me more than to follow you." "Do you really wish to go to the Island of Devils and fight with me?" "Yes, sir," replied the monkey. "I admire your courage," said Momotaro. "Here is a piece of one of my fine rice cakes. Come along." So the monkey joined Momotaro. The dog and the monkey did not get on very well together. They were always snapping at each other as they went along, and always wanting to have a fight. This made Momotaro very cross, and at last he sent the dog on ahead with a flag and put the monkey behind with a sword. He placed himself between them with a war fan, which was made of iron. Dude, this is so sick. You're a peach boy. Just imagine for a second. You're a peach boy, okay? You're walking through fields of emerald velvet with pussy willows all around, in and around. And in front of you, there's a dog holding a flag with, I assume, maybe your family crest. You are holding an iron war fan. You're a peach boy holding an iron war fan. And behind you, there's a monkey holding a sword. This is sick. Dude, this is the coolest story I have ever read. Sign me up. I hope you're drinking water. This is your daily reminder. Drink water, please. Okay. By and by, they came to a large field. Here, a bird flew down and alighted on the ground just in front of the little party. It was the most beautiful bird Momotaro had ever seen. On its body were 5 different robes of feathers, and its head was covered in a scarlet cap. The dog at once ran at the bird and tried to seize and kill it, but the bird struck out its spurs and flew at the dog's tail, and the fight went hard with both. Momotaro, as he looked on, could not help but admire the bird. It showed so much spirit in the fight. It certainly would make a good fighter. Momotaro went up to the 2 combatants, and holding the dog back, he said to the bird, "You rascal! You are hindering my journey. Surrender at once, and I will take you with me. If you don't, I will set this dog to bite your head off." Then the bird surrendered at once and begged to be taken into Momotaro's company. "I do not know what excuse to offer for quarreling with the dog, your servant. But I did not see you. I am a miserable bird called a pheasant. It is very generous of you to pardon my rudeness and to take me with you. Please allow me to follow you behind the dog and monkey." Whoa, what do they have against pheasants? Why is it a miserable, why are pheasants miserable birds? What am I missing? Whatever. "I congratulate you on surrendering so soon," said Momotaro, smiling. "Come and join us in our raid on the devils." "Are you going to take this bird with you also?" said the dog, interrupting. "Why do you ask such an unnecessary question? Didn't you hear what I said? I take the bird with me because I wish to." Said the dog. Then Momotaro stood and gave this order. "Now, all of you must listen to me. The first thing necessary in an army is harmony. It is a wise saying which says that advantage on earth is better than advantage in heaven. Union amongst ourselves is better than any earthly gain. When we are not at peace amongst ourselves, it is no easy thing to subdue an enemy. From now, you 3, the dog, the monkey, and the pheasant, must be friends with one mind. The one who first begins a quarrel will be discharged on the spot." I kind of love that saying, advantage on earth is better than advantage in heaven. Union amongst ourselves is better than any earthly gain. I love that. That's pretty deep. All the 3 promised not to quarrel. The pheasant was now made a member of Momotaro's suite and received half a cake. Yeah, that's their daily wage. Momotaro's influence was so great that the three became good friends and hurried onwards with him as their leader. Hurrying on day after day, they at last came upon the shore of the northeastern sea. There was nothing to be seen as far as the horizon, not a sign of any island. All that broke the stillness was the rolling of the waves upon the shore. Now the dog and the monkey and the pheasant had come very bravely all the way through the long valleys and over the hills, but they had never seen the sea before. And for the first time since they set out, they were bewildered and gazed at each other in silence. Oh, a little honky honk. How were they to cross the water and get to the island of the devils? Momotaro soon saw that they were daunted by the sight of the sea, and to try them, he spoke loudly and roughly. "Why do you hesitate? Are you afraid of the sea? What cowards you are! It is impossible to take such weak creatures as you with me to fight the demons. It will be far better for me to go alone. I will discharge you all at once." The three animals were taken aback at this sharp reproof and clung to Momotaro's sleeve, begging him not to send them away. "Please, Momotaro," said the dog. "We have come thus far," said the monkey. "It is inhuman to leave us here," said the pheasant. "We are not at all afraid of the sea," said the monkey. "Please, do take us with you," said the pheasant. "Please, please, sir," said the dog. They had now gained a little courage, so Momotaro said, "Well then, I will take you with me, but be careful." Momotaro now got a small ship, and they all got on board. The wind and weather were fair, and the ship went like an arrow over the sea. It was the first time they had ever been on the water, and so at first the dog, the monkey, and the pheasant were frightened at the waves and the rolling of the vessel. But by degrees they grew accustomed to the water and were quite happy again. Every day they paced the deck of their little ship, eagerly looking out for the demon's island. When they grew tired of this, they told each other stories of all of their exploits, of which they were proud, and then played games together. And Momotaro found much to amuse him in listening to the three animals and watching their antics, and in this way he forgot that the way was long and that he was tired of the voyage and of doing nothing. He longed to be at work killing the monsters who had done so much harm in his country. As the wind blew in their favor and they met no storms, the ship made a quick voyage, and one day when the sun was shining brightly, a sight of land rewarded the four watchers at the bow. Momotaro knew at once that what they saw was the devil's stronghold. On the top of the precipitous shore, looking out to sea, was a large castle. Now that his enterprise was close at hand, he was so deep in thought, with his head leaning on his hands, wondering how he should begin the attack. His three followers watched him, waiting for orders. At last he called to the pheasant. "It is a great advantage for us to have you with us," said Momotaro to the bird, "for you have wings. Fly at once to the castle and engage the demons to fight. We will follow you." Ooh, that was my neck. The pheasant at once obeyed. He flew off from the ship, beating the air gladly with his wings. The The bird soon reached the island and took up his position on the roof in the middle of the castle, calling out loudly, "All you devils, listen to me. The great Japanese general Momotaro has come to fight you and take your stronghold from you. If you wish to save your lives, surrender at once, and in token of your submission, you must break off the horns that grow on your forehead. If you do not surrender at once, but make up your mind to fight, we, the pheasant, the dog, and the monkey, will kill you all by biting and tearing you to death." The horned demons, looking up and only seeing a pheasant, laughed, and they said, "A wild pheasant indeed! It is ridiculous to hear such words from a mean thing like you. Wait till you get a blow from one of our iron bars." Very angry indeed were the devils. They shook their horns and shocks of red hair fiercely and rushed up to put on tiger skin trousers to make themselves look more terrible. I mean, tiger skin trousers, that's a look. Can you imagine? That's a hot outfit, like to be a little horned demon in tiger trousers. This is so, I'm just loving the imagery. They then brought out great iron bars and ran to where the pheasant perched over their heads and tried to knock him down. The pheasant flew to one side to escape the blow, and then attacked the head of the first one, and then another demon. He flew round and round then, beating the air with his wings so fiercely and ceaselessly that the devils began to wonder whether they had to fight one or many more birds. In the meantime, Momotaro had brought his ship to land. As they had approached, he saw the shore was like a precipice, and that the large castle was surrounded by hills and a large iron gate that was strongly fortified. Momotaro landed, and with the hope of finding some way of entrance, walked up the path towards the top, followed by the monkey and the dog. They soon came upon two beautiful damsels washing clothes in a stream. Momotaro saw that the clothes were blood-stained, and that as the two maidens washed, the tears were falling fast down their cheeks. He stopped and he spoke to them. "Who are you, and why do you weep?" "We are captives of the Demon King. We were carried away from our homes to this island, and though we are daughters of daimyos, or lords, we are obliged to be his servants, and one day he will kill us." And the maidens held up the blood-stained clothes. "And eat us, and there is no one to help us." And their tears burst out afresh at this horrible thought. "I will rescue you," said Momotaro. "Do not weep any more. Only show me how I may get you into the castle." Only show me how I may get into the castle. Then the two ladies led the way and showed Momotaro a little black door in the lowest part of the castle wall, so small that Momotaro could hardly crawl in. The pheasant, who was all the time fighting hard, saw Momotaro and his little band rush in at the back. Momotaro's onslaught was so furious that the devils could not stand against him. At first their foe had been a single bird, a pheasant. But now that Momotaro and the dog and the monkey had arrived, they were bewildered, for the four enemies fought like 100. So strong were they. Some of the devils fell off the parapet of the castle and were dashed into pieces on the rocks beneath. Others fell into the sea and were drowned. Many were beaten to death by the three animals. The chief of the devils at last was the only one left. He made up his mind to surrender, for he knew that his enemy was stronger than mortal man. He was a peach man. You're not fighting a regular man, you're fighting a peach man. He came up humbly to Momotaro and threw down his iron bar, and kneeling down at the victor's feet, he broke off the horns on his head in a token of submission, for they were the sign of his strength and power. I am afraid of you, he said meekly. I cannot stand against you. I will give you all the treasure hidden in this castle if you will spare my life. Momotaro laughed. It is not like you, big devil, to beg for mercy, is it? I cannot spare your wicked life, however much you beg, for you have killed and tortured many people and robbed our country for many years. Then Momotaro tied the devil chief up and gave him into the monkey's charge. Having done this, he went into all the rooms of the castle and set the prisoners free and gathered together all the treasure he found. The dog and the pheasant carried home the plunder, and thus Momotaro returned triumphantly to his home, taking with him the devil chief as a captive. The two poor damsels, the daughters of Deimos, and the others whom the wicked demon had carried off to be his slaves, were taken safely to their own homes and delivered to their parents. The whole country made a hero of Momotaro on his triumphant return, and rejoiced that the country was now freed from the robber devils, who had been a terror of the land for a long time. The old couple's joy was greater than ever, and the treasure Momotaro had brought home with him enabled them to live in peace and plenty to the end of their days. Oh my God, stop. That is too flippin' cute. I'm interested. I wonder if peaches in Japanese culture. Okay, apparently the peach, because of its mystical properties, was believed to confer longevity on those who ate them. In Japanese culture, peaches were thought to eliminate misfortune and evil. And in Korea, interestingly as well, sweet peaches were the fruit of happiness, longevity, riches, and honor. Oh, that's so interesting. And momo is the word for peach. Oh, that's so cute. I didn't realize that. Also, the peach is often seen as a symbol of sex or fertility. I mean, obviously, I feel like that's everyone. That is so cute. I love the story of Momotaro. This is the cutest thing I've ever heard. He's a peach boy. Wow, that was so fun. I'm trying to see. I'm looking at this Wikipedia page. Anyway, this is so cute. This was so much fun. I want to be a peach boy when I grow up. Can you imagine though, this kind of reminds me of Kaguya, of the bamboo farmer who finds a golden bamboo shoot, and inside there's a little baby, and then it raises into be a beautiful princess who's the goddess of the moon. Could you imagine finding a child in some enchanted fruit or vegetable out in your garden? That would be so cool. It's the sickest adoption story. I found a peach floating on the river and a peach boy came out. Hello? What if Momotaro and Kaguya got married and had a baby, and it was a bamboo peach baby? Oh my God. I want to hear that story. Are you kidding me? A peach boy and a bamboo girl have a big fat baby? See, these are the kind of stories I want to hear. Write that down. Maybe I'll have to write that story. You best believe that I'm going to start writing fairy tales one day. And one day in the future, you're going to be watching some really, really cute cartoon of a peach boy and a bamboo girl who fall in love and have magical enchanted babies who wear tiger skin trousers. Okay? That's a promise. If you like this episode, please comment, please subscribe, please check out my merch, check out my Patreon. I appreciate you so much. I hope that you are having a beautiful day. We need more kind human beings like yourself. Please take good care of yourself. I send you hugs. I send you kisses. Over and out, baby.